Hello and welcome back to Asian Reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing the Lightstrike mechanical keyboard. This is from Bloody Gaming, powered by A4Tech, and this is the B740A. This mechanical keyboard has infrared mechanical switches, which are faster than your average switches. Moving on to the back, we have some of their features. We have the key response less than 2.2 milliseconds, zero lag, 30 milliseconds faster than your metal key switches, and it is 30% faster, more accurate, and there's no double click when you are clicking on the keyboard, which is good for some gamers and not so good for other gamers. It's got the world's fastest key response, and each key on the keyboard is fully reprogrammable, which is awesome. This keyboard is also waterproof, has 8 silicone keycaps, and a few extra little items. Anyways, opening up the box, we will remove the outer shell of marketing materials, and you will see just a plain white box, plain black box with a bloody logo, and which is housing the keyboard. So, opening up that keyboard over there, as you can see, the keyboard is wrapped nicely in bubble wrap, and we have a nice quick start guide with some software information, and as you can see, wrapped in some nice bubble wrap. It's a pretty big keyboard as well. It was really hard to get a nice angle with the camera and the box. It's a really huge box. Anyways, getting a little sidetracked there. Moving the bubble wrap from the keyboard. As you can see, it's a pretty standard QWERTY layout. It's got all your standard keys with a small wrist rest. And here you see the silicone keycaps on the WASD and the keys around that for gaming. And it's got some kind of odd switches. It's got like a... feels like a Cherry MX Red or a Kale Red. And I'm actually gonna plug in the keyboard here. As you can see, it has a braided cable, which is feels kind of cheap, feels kind of like rope, but it's braided cable nevertheless, and it's pretty strong, as I am demonstrating here. And it has a standard USB 2.0 connector. Plugging in the keyboard, you can see some of the lighting effects, and it has a 7-color backlight, as you can see there. It's not RGB, so don't get mistaken if you were looking for an RGB keyboard, then this is not for you. But it has some little special lighting effects to show off to your friends and stuff like that. And, it's pretty cool. I would like to see just a solid color backlight, but the 7-color backlight, that's, it's not that bad. Anyway, sorry for adjusting the camera angle there. But as you can see, we have the keyboard. And the wrist rest is kind of an odd shape. I wish it was a bit larger or detachable so I could add on my wrist rest. Anyways, gonna go sidetrack there. We have 5 rubberized feet to keep the keyboard sliding off the flat surface, and the elevator feet are fully rubberized, so even in the nice incline mode, you will still get a non-slippy keyboard. And flipping the keyboard back around to get another closer look at the keyboard. So here we have a closer look at the 7 backlight colors. Just 7-color backlight. As you can see, it's got 7 colors. Going down, we have there purple, red, blue, green, yellow, and sort of a darker yellow, almost an orange, but not quite an orange. The colors are not represented accurately on my camera. Anyways, you can see there's a flashing bloody logo down at the bottom and center of the keyboard. Now, taking a little time to look at the keyboard. As you can see, the keyboard has a pretty standard, nice silver plate. And it has those dedicated LEDs up on top for the gaming mode, which can be applied with the function F8. And that'll disable the Windows key, which is nice, And you also have some multimedia keys with those other ones. So, function F12 will toggle your backlights. Function F8 will toggle your gaming mode button, as I said before. And function up will toggle brightness, function down will toggle brightness as well. So as you can see, I'm just cycling through some of the different color modes. But you don't get any of those fancy modes when typing, so you'll just go back to the solid 7 colors. And we have a 3 brightness levels, not 4 including off, but I'm not counting off. So it's got those 3 brightness levels, and yeah. So the keyboard has a pretty nice look to it. Unfortunately, the key switches, or the keycaps, look kind of brown and orange, which are not very attractive in my opinion. Here's a quick sound test with those keys caps and the switch. So that pretty much concludes the sound test. I personally kind of like this sound. They sound very similar to Cherry MX Blues and Kale Reds, and they do feel very similar to Kale Blues and Cherry MX Reds. Now, I actually did remove a keycap there, so you can get a closer look at the LED. It's pretty bright, and it does bounce off the back of your keyboard. As you can see, it's kind of on the number pad on the left-hand side. You can see the reflection of the, the reflection of the backlighting. Anyways, every key switch on this keyboard is reprogrammable, and you can set macros for any key, any set of keys, stuff like that. This is extremely convenient when doing light gaming and when doing productivity, being able to copy paste something with just a, like, for example, like Control 1 or something like that. It's really, really simple. Definitely do like that. Everything is programmable. And again, I personally like the sound of the switches. I'll just say that outright. And in terms of response time, that's their main seller. Bloody's main seller of this keyboard is the response time. And I have to agree, the response time is much faster and more accurate. Instead of pressing like every time you press it, like I was pressing keys, for example, like 3 times, and it would be exactly 3 times, and it would be snappy, fast. And I definitely do think that these infrared switches are faster. That's pretty much all I got to say about this keyboard. I would have liked to see maybe white keycaps, and maybe instead of the orange, maybe like a red of the silicone keycaps, and maybe RGB, or a single color backlight, because I personally do not like the 7 color. It does not fit with my setup. Even though my setup is pretty RGB, it just doesn't fit with my setup, and it would be a much higher quality keyboard if it were RGB. And even though there are infrared switches, I want to see if Bloody, this is a challenge for you guys, if you guys can make a switch that has the speed of those infrared switches, but still has the tactile bump and click of your Cherry MX Blues, of your Kale Blues, of your Razor Greens. That's kind of my challenge for you guys over at Bloody. But again, that pretty much wraps up the review. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like down below, so it shows me that you are enjoying the content and that you want to see more. And make sure to subscribe if you have not already to stay updated for future reviews, giveaways, and everything else Asian reviews. Anyways, make sure to check out Bloody Gaming down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.